So they get to 600. If you include them, it's much higher numbers. Now, but you have to revisit the Judah, son of Jesus, ossuary. Why? You could say, well, the Gospels don't mention the Son. But the Gospels do invite us to decode something. The Gospel of John, for example, names everybody except one mysterious person, the beloved disciple. Who is this beloved disciple? He's not one of the 12, because it says one of the 12 didn't come to the crucifixion. But he was there. The beloved disciple was there with the two Marys. Why doesn't John name him? Well, they say he's modest. It's really John. But really? Is there no other explanation? Why didn't the disciples go there? They didn't go there because they didn't want to be crucified themselves. There were people on the run. But this beloved disciple doesn't seem to fear being at the base of the cross. Why? Maybe he was a kid. Who is he? Why isn't he named? Could it be that because Jesus was crucified for insurrection, because Jesus was perceived as heir to the throne of David, the Romans would crucify him. I mean, they mocked him, King of the Jews. They put on the sign. They put a crown of thorns on his head. They gave him a funny staff, said, here's your scepter. They put him in purple, said, you're a king. Could it be that after Jesus was crucified, everybody who loved Jesus was afraid for his son? So they wouldn't have said he had a son, because that would be like fingering him for execution, for crucifixion. So they called him the beloved disciple. That's not my term. That's the Gospels. They invite us. There's another incident in the Gospels that talks about a young lad who leans at the Last Supper against Jesus' chest. He's cuddling with Jesus. I don't know about you, but nobody cuddles with me at my supper table except my kids. Who is this person cuddling with Jesus? Could that be that the beloved disciple? Are the Gospels telling us clearly it's his son? There's a strange incident that the Gospels relate where when they come to arrest Jesus, there's a young man, a young lad, who is dressed in nothing but linen. He runs out after Jesus. One of the arresting officers grabs him. He pulls out, leaving the linen in the officer's hand, and runs naked through the streets of Jerusalem. Is this a grown man walking around with a little linen? Read Jami for linen. Obviously, it's a young kid. Grown men didn't walk around naked with a little linen thing. When a policeman grabbed them, they slipped away and ran stark naked through the streets. This is a kid. And when they came to arrest Jesus, it's actually quite touching. This kid goes out on the street in his pajamas, in his linen. And when the officers grab him, he runs away to mom, naked through the streets. So what I'm saying is that the archaeology seems to fit the New Testament decoded. Meaning, if you say, well, who is this mysterious running naked kid? Obviously, the Gospels think it's important enough to mention. Who is this beloved disciple, and why are they keeping his name secret from us? Who is this young man who's cuddling with Jesus at the Last Supper? They all seem to point to, perhaps, an heir to the throne. Somebody that you'd want to keep mysterious because you wouldn't want to endanger him. Now, as anybody who's read the Da Vinci Code knows, even though it's fiction and so on, there has been a tradition that Jesus had children. Here you have an ossuary buried in Jerusalem. So could it be had a son that died and a daughter that survived? Who knows? I don't know. All I know is that the Gospels invite us to speculate on these mysterious figures. And right here in this tomb, you have a Judah, son of Jesus. If this is the tomb of Jesus of Nazareth, then we've discovered a long-lost son. The Holy Grail has been discovered. But, more studies have to be made. Somebody has to try to maybe get a DNA swab from that ossuary. It's pretty clean, but sometimes you can get from a swab. But that's sophisticated DNA stuff. There's a lot more work to be done.
The